Tachyon got new support this year that helps blend the original Photon, Galaxy, and Tachyon archetypes together in order to make one epic and consistent Zexal-themed Galaxy Eyes deck. The new Tachyon cards help get out your big Galaxy Eyes monsters even more easily and provide consistent access to even more negates than just pure Photon Galaxy can, giving you access to cards like Tachyon Transmigration and Number Chaos 107. That being said, here's my Tachyon Photon deck profile that blends the two archetypes in a fun way. Also, sorry I know I'm late with this one, but this video has been backlogged for months, so I had to get it done. So please enjoy it. So for the monsters, I play 3 copies of the new Infinity Dragon. What it does is if you control no monsters or your opponent controls a monster with 2000 plus attack, you can special summon it for free from your hand, and when it's summoned, you can special summon a level 8 light or dark dragon monster from your deck, negating its effects. Also, you can only special summon Dragon Xyz monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, but basically you're just using it as fodder to get out your rank 8 dragons. Next, I play 2 copies of Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Primal. This is the new really good Tachyon card, and what it does is it can special summon itself from the hand if there's a Dragon Xyz monster on the field, and it allows you to add a Tachyon spell or trap from deck to hand, like 7th Tachyon, on summon. Then I play 1 copy of Tachyon Cloud Dragon. This is the other new Tachyon monster, and what it does is it has the Poplar effect, where it can special summon itself from the hand if it's added to the hand except by drawing. Also, you contribute it to special summon a Tachyon monster from your deck, like Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Primal, and then get its search effect. Lastly, for the more Tachyon cards, I play Galactic Spiral Dragon. Basically, when it's in the hand or graveyard and you have 2 or more light or dark dragon monsters, you can special summon it in defense position, and then, although it's banished when it leaves the field, let's be honest, you're using it as Xyz material, so it won't matter. Also, once per turn, it can make all monsters you control level 8. Then for the Photon cards, I play 1 copy of Photon Dragon and 1 copy of Afterglow. Honestly, the reason I play the Photon cards is because although the new Tachyon stuff is good, and you can play a variant where it's just pure Tachyon, it is better to mix in with the other Photon Galaxy stuff that's already out there, because the decks are sort of intertwined. I also play 1 copy of Photon Emperor to use for Galaxy 100, and then 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier because it's one of the best searchers to get out your Galaxy cards. I also play 1 copy of Galaxy Summoner, which can revive a Galaxy or Photon monster as needed, and 1 copy of Galaxy Wizard, which can search out some of the Galaxy spell, trap, or monster cards you might need. I also play 3 copies of Photon Jumper, which is an amazing hand trap in the deck because it lets you skip your opponent's battle phase, although it skips your own, but it can come in clutch if they're attacking you directly, and when it's sent to the graveyard from anywhere, you can search an additional Photon or Galaxy spell or trap, which is really helpful with the new cards. I also play 3 copies of Ash, just because, it's Ash. You play 3 copies of it. Alright, now on to the spells. For the new cards, I play 3 copies of 7th Tachyon. What this card does is it allows you to reveal a number 101 through 107 number monster from your extra deck, and then add a monster from your deck to your hand with either the same attribute or the same type as that monster. So this card is really good for searching out one of your main combo starters, the Infinity Dragon. Since it is really expensive, if you don't want to play 3 copies of it and you only pulled 1, what you could do is play more copies of 7th Ascension, which allows you to search a 7th spell or trap from your deck and add it to your hand. So this is a good way of getting out 7th Tachyon, so you could play more copies of this should you not have 3 copies of 7th Tachyon. For the Photon Galaxy cards, I play 3 copies of 100 because it gives you good access to a lot of your starters and gets rid of some of your opponent's extra deck when you summon Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Also, I play Galaxy Expedition since it's another really good card to get out additional cards like Galaxy Soldier. I also play 1 copy of Hyper Galaxy because this is just another really good disruption to have set for your opponent's turn. It can tribute one of their monsters and one of yours to summon out Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, which is a really nice perk. since it can also trigger off Galaxy 100 to rip another card out of their extra deck. I also play Tachyon Spiral, the new card, which can destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls that have their effects negated from something like number 107. And then lastly, I play one copy of Called by the Grave. Now on to the traps. I forgot to mention, but you should also play one copy of Rank Up Magic, the 7th one, since we do play both number 107 and Chaos 107 in the extra deck. For the traps, I play 3 copies of Tachyon Transmigration. It's a really good card and it's searchable now, which is a really nice perk because it's always been a very strong card, but now that you have a consistent way to get out number 107 and search this card, it's really worthwhile to use. I also play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, just as a standard trap to play, and then 1 copy of Tachyon-Galaxy, which I forgot to make a proxy of for this video. But this is a really good card because it can take a card like Galaxy Photon Dragon and then evolve it into something like number 90. That's all I have for the traps. Now on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, I play 1 copy of Soul Flare and 1 copy of the other Galaxy Link monster, which I don't remember the name of, but is right here and a lot of other places on screen. Basically, I play these 2 because they have a lot of synergy either with the Galaxy Photon cards or with the number monsters, which are 2 of your biggest archetypes in this deck. I also play 1 copy of Galaxy Photon Dragon since it gives you access to any Galaxy card you could need and can manipulate the level of any light monster you summon. I also play 2 copies of the new Divine Golden Dragon because what it does is when it's summoned, it allows you to add a Tachyon or Galaxy card from deck to hand and can detach 2 materials to Xyz summon a Dragon Xyz monster from your extra deck with 3000 attack and then use an additional Galaxy monster like this Link monster as material. I also play the Cypher Dragon package. It's just a really good backup plan to have where you can steal a monster, pop a monster, and then pop another monster. So I like to play it in any Galaxy Eyes or Tachyon style deck. I also play a copy of number 62 and Chaos 62. They're just another really good beat stick option to have, and since we play Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, we can activate their full effects. I also play number 90, which is a really good card to get Photon or Galaxy cards from your deck to your hand on your opponent's turn, and is just a free monster negate, which you can never go wrong with. Additionally, I also play number 38, the other really good Xyz negation card, which can negate one of your opponent's spells once per turn. Lastly, I also play 2 copies of number 107 for the Tachyon stuff, and 1 copy of Chaos 107. That's it for the extra deck. Now let's move on to the side deck. For the extra deck, I don't really want to tell you specific cards to play. However, here are some recommendations for common staples that work well in a lot of them. 1 card you could play is Nibiru the Primal Being, a really good hand trap that can disrupt when your opponent is kind of comboing off and summoning a lot of monsters. Or you could play a card like Droll and Lockbird that can shut down your opponent from adding cards from deck to hand for the rest of the turn. Lastly, kind of an underrated card in my opinion, is Power Sync Stone. You can't use it in every matchup obviously because it really shuts down your ability to activate monster effects, but if your opponent is really comboing off, kind of similar to Nibiru, this can shut down your opponent and your monster effects after only the activation of 2 monster effects. So it's a good card to have in case of emergency, but is definitely a use at your own risk type of card. That being said, let's move on to the combo. So this combo, all you need is the Infinity Dragon or 7th Tachyon. Starting with 7th Tachyon, what you would do is activate it, use its effect, revealing number 107, and then adding Infinity Dragon from your deck to your hand. Then Infinity Dragon's effect would activate, allowing you to special summon itself, as well as Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon. Then you would use the 2 as Xyz material, summoning your first copy of Divine Golden Shadow Dragon. Then you would activate this card's effect to search a Galaxy card from your deck to your hand. In this case, we're going to go for Galaxy 100. You would then activate Galaxy 100, using its effect to dump a Galaxy Eyes from your deck to the grave. So we'll go for Photon Jumper, and use its effect to add Galaxy Expedition from your deck to your hand. Then we'll activate Divine Golden Shadow's effect, using these 2 as the Xyz material for cost, and summoning number 107 from your extra deck using Divine Shadow and your Galaxy Link monster as material. Then Afterglow's effect activates, summoning Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck, and Galaxy 100 will rip a card from your opponent's extra deck because Galaxy Eyes was summoned. Then you'll activate Galaxy Expedition to summon Galaxy Soldier from your deck. Then Galaxy Soldier's effect activates, searching Galaxy Summoner, which you'll then summon and use its effect to summon back Afterglow. Then Afterglow and Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon will be used to make number 90. Lastly, Galaxy Summoner targets Galaxy Soldier to reduce its level to 4, and the 2 will be used for Xyz material, summoning Galaxy Photon Dragon. You can then use its effect to discard one of the materials and search for a Galaxy card from your deck. In this case, we'll go for Eternal Galaxy and set that on the field. Lastly, at the beginning of your opponent's turn, you'll activate 2 effects, number 90 and Eternal Galaxy, to summon out number 38 using Galaxy Photon Dragon as material, since Eternal Galaxy is technically a Galaxy monster, and you'll use number 90's effect to search for Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Primal. Since you control a Galaxy Eyes monster, you can use its effect to summon itself on your opponent's turn, and then add Tachyon Transmigration from your deck to your hand as an additional disruption, since it can be used from the hand as long as you control Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. So here are your disruptions once your opponent starts their main phase. You'll have 1 spell negate, 1 monster negate, 1 negate of pretty much anything, and once the battle phase starts, you'll have Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, which can negate everything on the field. Honestly, not too bad. When I've playtested, most times I usually end with either number 107, a couple copies of Tachyon Transmigration, or an additional number 38 on the field. If I play just the pure Tachyon variant, I like this better because I end with more bodies on the board, and if I have other cards in my hand, like I started with a Tachyon Primal, I have access to more copies of Tachyon Transmigration or some additional type of negate, but this is all just off of 1 card. So let me show you what the deck can do with an example starting hand. Okay, so this is a pretty good example of an interesting starting hand. So first thing I'm going to do is activate 7th Ascension to search for 7th Tachyon. Then I'll activate 7th Tachyon, and since I already have Infinity Dragon in my hand, the next best thing I would say to search is probably going to be Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Primal. Then I'll start off with the same combo as last time, using Infinity Dragon to summon Afterglow from the deck, and use the 2 to summon the Golden Dragon. Then, off of the Golden Dragon, I'll search for a copy of Galaxy 100. Then I'll activate Galaxy 100, use its effect to burn a Photon Jumper from deck, and use its effect to search out Galaxy Expedition. Similar to last time, use these 2 as material for 107, and then Afterglow to summon out Photon Dragon, and 100 to burn a card from the opponent's extra deck. At this point, instead of going straight into Galaxy Expedition, what I'm going to do instead is summon Tachyon Primal. Since I control the Galaxy Eyes, what this is going to do is it's just going to give me access to a Tachyon Transmigration right off the bat. And it'll give me access to an instant negate since I can use it from the hand, because I control the Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. Then I'll activate Galaxy Expedition and continue the combo from last time, summoning Galaxy Soldier and searching Galaxy Summoner. Before I summon this, since I'm already out of room, I'm going to use these 2, then we'll use these 2 as material for number 90. It doesn't really matter if you go number 38 or number 90, because you're not going to really be able to activate Afterglow's effect again, since both Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon and Afterglow are going to be material for Xyz monsters, probably at the same time, and number 38 doesn't really detach much material, so for the most part, both are going to be occupied and not allow you to use the additional Afterglow effect, which is pretty much fine. Next, I'm going to normal summon Galaxy Summoner, and use its effect to revive Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon. Then I'll use Galaxy Summoner to make Soldier a level 4, and use the 2 as material for Galaxy Photon Dragon. I'll then use its effect, same thing, grab Eternal Galaxy, set it, and before I end my turn, I just want to go over what we have. We have Infinite Impermanence, Tachyon Transmigration, at least 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptions on the opponent's turn, plus a 5th once number 38 is summoned. So I'll set Hyper Galaxy, and then as soon as the opponent's turn starts, I'm going to activate Hyper Galaxy, summoning out number 38, and use Photon Lord's effect to search for the second copy of Tachyon Primal, summon it, and then get an additional copy off its effect of Tachyon Transmigration. So now on the opponent's turn, we'll have 3 trap cards we can use, and actually this one needs to be set. Forgot about that. So we'll have 2 trap cards we can use from the hand, 2 disruptions on the field that we hard drew, plus 3 monster effect negations and 2 big bodies for the opponent to get over. The board isn't too different from the other turn, however the difference is we have an additional disruption in the hand and an additional body on the field for them to get over. If they don't get over it, then on our turn we can use these two to Xyz into a copy of number 62, and then a copy of number Chaos 62, which would gain an additional 2400 attack from its attached materials. And even if we can't use these two to summon it because they get destroyed, there are other ways we can use to get it out. The last thing worth mentioning is instead of searching Tachyon Transmigration off of Primal's effect, we could have also instead searched our other copy of 7th Ascension and used it to search out a copy of Rank Up Magic, the 7th one, and then use its Banish effect to discard the 7th one and then rank up number 107 into number Chaos 107. It's just something an additional we could have done, but either way it doesn't really matter since you have a ton of beat sticks on the field, and let's be honest, they're probably not getting over it. All in all, I'd say this is a pretty good test hand, and I gotta say, fields are a lot messier when your entire deck is based on Xyz monsters and their material. Without further ado, I will pass it off to my favorite editor to close out the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more deck profiles like this one, make sure to check out my playlist here. Or if you're interested in more comedic, light-hearted videos, check out my playlist here. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.